Oh hey there, name's Mitch. If you found this video, you've likely played Super Metroid a million times and know it like the back of your hand. But what if I told you this 30-year-old Super Nintendo game has achievements? Yes, you heard that correctly. Those little trinkets you get in games to justify the amount of time you spend playing them are now something you can use to justify your autism-fueled nostalgia. Now, before you click off this video thinking I have some other kind of disability, allow me to introduce you to a corner of the internet called RetroAchievements.org. I don't really know how it works, and if I took the time to learn it, it would probably reaffirm my decision to not be a computer science major. What I do know is that these achievements force me to do and see things in games that I otherwise would never have tried, and for that I appreciate it. Truth be told, I tried writing this video a few months ago, and it just came out like a 100% guide. It was boring me to tears before I even got to the editing phase. So I'm going to assume that if you're watching this, you've also played the game too many times, and it won't be too lost if I don't spell out where every single collectible is. We good? We cool? Okay, let's go. Starting out on Sarah Station, there's already two achievements to think about. The first comes when the fight with Ridley begins. Because I'm usually speedrunning the game, I'm so used to huddling in the bottom right corner of the room and jumping into Ridley's tail to get a move on, but I don't actually want to do that here. If I can land 100 shots onto Ridley before he can lower Samus's health below 30, Ridley will drop the baby Metroid before picking it back up and flying away. In pursuit of this achievement, you may be inclined to stand atop the door and shoot directly at him, but the problem then is the ceiling is too low to avoid Ridley's fireballs. I find this easiest to do by standing in the center of the room, aiming diagonally and firing away. The damage I take from Ridley flying into me is pretty negligible. Just stay away from that tail, jump when he opens his mouth to avoid his fireballs, and eventually I got overwhelmed Ridley for doing this the long way. I didn't even do a particularly good job at avoiding Ridley's fire, and I still got it. Immediately after this is an achievement tied to the Sarah's escape sequence that asked me to finish with at least 40 seconds left on the timer. Honestly, I have no detailed strategy for this other than to watch out for the puffs of smoke and to use wall jumps at the end. If you can wall jump, this should be easy for you. With that, the prologue is done and we're off to planet Zebes to start the game proper. There's nothing special to do here when you first start. Just head where you normally would to get Why Can't Metroid Crawl upon collecting the Morph Ball. Continue to the right and down to get Packing a Punch for getting your first missile expansion. Return to the Criteria surface and through this hole to find the bombs. But you won't get an achievement for the bombs themselves. You'll get one upon killing the Chorizo in this room. From there, head on towards Brinstar and collect your first energy tank for revitalizing. Once you make it to Brinstar, open the first pink door on your right. Because I played this game too much, I'm about to do a speedrun strat called the Mock Ball to get a few items early. Stand at the edge of this platform to the left of the door while it's open, hold your run button, start running into the next room, but just before you enter and the screen starts shifting right, you want to jump. It's not very precise. If you see anything from Samus's feet off the ground to her flipping as you enter, you time the jump right. Now keep holding jump as the screen transitions. The moment you're given control again, press down once again right as Samus lands on the top platform, and then immediately roll your thumb onto right on the D-pad to roll under these security gates while maintaining your running speed. It may take a few times if you've never done this before, but for doing this I get energy on reserve for getting my first reserve tank, and I'm super thanks for asking for getting my first super missiles. If you just learned that technique from this video and were determined to get it right before moving on, first of all congrats, and second, you can rest easy as that's really the only point in the game you'll want to use it unless you want to start speedrunning competitively. Anyway, once you've gotten those, go back to the first room of Brinstar and through the pink door at the bottom right. Once you're in this pink cherry blossom area, there's a path up and a path down. All the goodies here and the path forward are below, but because achievements demand it, I gotta go up to fight Spore Spawn. Because I got super missiles before this fight, this'll take just 4 shots before I get Snore Spawn for killing this mini boss. The path out of this boss arena will lead me back to the lower path of the pink area, where I will get Charge Chamber upon collecting the Charge Beam. From here I make my way southeast towards Norfair. On my way I enter a blue door and immediately find a destructible block directly above me. shoot it away and wall jump here to get the spacer, which will grant me an achievement that I won't name out loud lest this video get blocked in the UK. Continuing on to Norfair and through this pink door, I get getting high for collecting the high jump boots. Immediately after leaving Norfair, I shoot a super missile to the right and head on to Kraid's lair. I'm honestly terrible at getting the quick kill on Kraid. Basically, he takes 6 frames to fully open his mouth after he appears. If I can land a shot in his mouth at frame 2, he'll freeze in place and I can wail on him in seconds, but I can never do it. So I just fight him normally with about 5 super missiles and then continue on to the next room where I get the Varia suit, which is very nice. Now that that's done, I head back into Norfair and head through the first blue door on my right, continuing east until I reach this large green bubble room. I make this big jump here first try, which allows me to get subsurface penetrator and gotta go fast for obtaining the wave beam and speed booster respectively. Afterwards, I head through the bottom of the green room and then left, continuing southwest until I reach a green door on the floor. Through here is a mini boss called Crocomire. The first shot of literally anything to his mouth will send him back 1 step. After that, missiles do 1 step, a charged wave beam shot does 2, and a super missile sends him back 3 steps. I will run out of supers before the inevitable happens, but after that I just shoot him with charged wave shots until he takes a bath in acid and grants me the What a Croc achievement. After the way to the left is open, I make a big jump here and open the pink door for my first power bomb expansion. South as far as I can go, and then west I snag the grappling beam and the shocking touch achievement. I head north on my way out of Norfair, but I take a detour at this green door to get Don't Move upon grabbing the ice beam. After this, I'm done with Norfair, and I pick up most everything on the way back to my ship through Red Brinstar. At this point, I think the game expects me to do cleanup in Brinstar proper, but I'm crazy, so I'm going to the wreck ship with only 4 energy tanks and 2 reserves to my name. Pro tip for the Phantoon fight. He responds in different ways to different weapon fire. If I go into Samus's inventory screen and turn off the ice and spacer beams before the battle starts, a charged wave shot will send him flying around the room, long enough to land 3 more shots while he's doing this. Honestly, the blue fireballs he drops around the room are a greater threat than Phantoon himself. I always make sure to have reserve energy on hand when I do this fight, but I got Phantom ended when he died first try without needing my reserve tanks. It was at this point that I realized I'm missing achievements. I don't need to visit the map rooms anymore when I play this game, but the achievements demand it. So from Phantoon's room, I run all the way left and get Wreck Ship revealed for downloading this area's map. From here, I head all the way north, I kill all the enemies, and exit left to an outdoor area. I make my way below and right to find out I'm the 1 millionth visitor of this room, and for this occasion, this chosen will lead me to the basement. Immediately to the left, I grab the gravity suit, and with it, the What Are You Waiting For achievement. Now that I'm done here, I'm off to get the rest of the items in Brinstar. Along the way, I download the map I don't need and find the Eticoons that try teaching me the wall jump, but I already know how, so they stay at the bottom of this room forever. Rolling into this alcove and snagging this specific powerbomb expansion nets me the wall jumping ninja achievement. On my way to the pink area, I fall through these speed booster blocks where I find another animal whose job is to teach me the shine spark. Its own shine spark will not break through the blocks above you, but with proper position and timing, not only will I get the shooting star achievement for learning this technique, but I'll also trap the Decora up here with me. And now I run away in shame, realizing that I just separated this animal from its unborn child. I make my way back towards Norfair, but I'm not actually going there. I stop at this glass tube, drop a power bomb, and after it breaks, I get out of bounds. From here, I head up, right, and down to find a pink door through which is the map station for Maridia. Now that I have that, I'm ready to start Maridia proper. From the glass tube room, I head all the way north and then east until I reach a synthetic looking area where the music changes. From here, I go north to find fake Metroids and then east to fight Butchwoon. And for defeating it, I get the Abyss Dweller achievement. I head right through this really big room, through the green door at the bottom, and then down to fight Dragon. Knowing only one way to fight this boss, I face left until Mama uses her stunning attack to pick me up. As she's lifting me, I toggle the grapple beam, latch onto the wall as Dragon swings near it, and get the cheap trick achievement for killing this thing the only way I know how. Be warned that this achievement is missable, and that if you fight Dragon any other way and then save, you just lost it, and now you have to start a whole nother playthrough just to kill Dragon this way. In the room directly adjacent to the boss, I snag the space jump and also feeling spacey, and then I head back through the big room that got me here. Through the vertical shaft with 2 Metroid clones is a door along the left wall that is now unlocked. From that entrance, I go right when the path splits, jump where this pancake enemy is, and go through this door to eventually grab the plasma beam and the piercing shot achievements. From here I head left, up, and left again, then through this green door. When I'm given control again, I head right until I reach a room with 1 destructible grapple beam block on the ceiling. Latch on until it disappears so I can jump up, go right, and eventually pick up the spring ball, and with it the bouncy ball achievement. I'm just about done here, but for 100% I have to make 2 complete circles around Maridia for some items that are in rooms that I can only enter from these sand pits. With that, I'm finally done with Maridia. Now on to Lower Norfair to fight Ridley, but not before opening this powerbomb door to download the map I forgot earlier. I take the door that first led me to the ice beam, but this time I take the route obstructed by powerbomb blocks to reach the door leading to where I fought Krakemeyer. But I continue right, not down. I head right and then down through a powerbomb door to eventually reach Ridley's lair. Taking a left from the elevator eventually gets me to the golden chorizo, and after defeating it, I'm awarded with the screw attack. There are no achievements between here and Ridley, so I just go through Norfair normally until I'm there. Since I'm also going for 100% item collection this playthrough, Ridley is honestly a joke. Super missiles make quick work of him until I inevitably run out, and then plasma shots do just fine. When he's dead, I get the revenge achievement. I've done everything I need to do to reach Mother Brain, so I start making my way to the planet's surface, but along the way I need to make a few detours for my last few items and achievements. In red Brinstar is this powerbomb door that I've been ignoring. Through it, I get the Unnatural Observer achievement for collecting an item that I don't need because I played this game far too much. On the way back to Criteria, I take this shortcut back to Old Brinstar through this powerbomb door. From here, I take the elevator and the old Tourian shaft until I find this red door that eventually leads to the Criteria map room that I forgot to download at the beginning. I make one last stop at my ship to save and make sure I have everything, but I still have a handful of achievements I can check off in quick succession literally anywhere. These are very obscure and not exactly worth using in battles, so you may not know that there are secret attacks that each beam can do if charged while you have power bombs equipped, but only with 1 beam equipped at a time. So I go into the inventory screen, turn off every beam but charge an ice, toggle power bombs, charge up a shot, and get the blizzard achievement when this happens. Lather, rinse, repeat with the other beams, get tsunami, raining fire, and cyclone. Lastly, there's a secret technique Samus can do to fully refill her energy in a pinch at the cost of some ammo, but it only works when she's at 50 HP or below with all of her E-tanks depleted. So first I stop by this room to take a bath in some acid, which incidentally triggers my reserve tanks to kick in, at which point I get the Lifesaver achievement. I fully expected to get this achievement while fighting Phantoon, but here is also fine. Anyway, when I'm sufficiently marinated in acid, I step out. And apart from low energy, Samus needs 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 11 power bombs to pull this off. I toggle power bombs, enter morph ball mode, hold L and R, down on the D-pad, press the fire button to set a power bomb, and keep holding it until the explosion animation finishes, at which point this will happen. Samus is sacrificing weapon ammo to fully refill her health, including her reserve tanks. This technique is called the Crystal Flash, and I just got an achievement to match. Now that that's done, I head off to Tourian and get Break the Seal as the statue begins lowering into the ground. There's honestly not much to do in Tourian as far as achievements go. I just continue as I normally would, fight Mother Brain as usual, and get brain dead when it's over. Now I have to escape the planet, but the Call of the Wild is beckoning me to the room where I got the bombs at the start of the game. If I stop in here during the escape sequence, I'll find the animals that taught me the wall jump and the shine spark moves. I shoot the wall able to break it open and get returning the favor for letting the animals escape with me. Afterwards, I leave and run back to my ship and snag Great Escape for finishing the escape sequence with a minute 30 or more left on the timer. Immediately followed by mission complete for finishing the game. During the ending and credits, I get Samus Aran so fast for completing the game in less than 3 hours, and completionist for finishing the game with 100% of the items collected. But wait, I have 2 more achievements left to get. First is Professional Escape, which asks me to finish the escape sequence at the end with at least 2 minutes left on the clock. I won't lie to you, this one is hard. And no, you have no hope of doing this while also rescuing the animals, so don't even think about it. The escape is honestly pretty lenient until they ask you to do it in a minute or less. And it would be a time like this for nerves to get to me and make me miss up jumps, wouldn't it? The only real strategy I have is in this room here, take the bottom route and shine spark up. Don't bother taking the path with the space pirates up top. On my successful attempt, I was going through the 3 doors with 2:48, 2:24, and 2:17 on the clock. Anytime I went through the doors with times under those, I would just reset. When I'm at the home stretch, I make sure to wall jump off the edge of these platforms because I cannot rely on the space jump here. And through the final door with about 2:05 left on the clock, I'm in the clear. I streamed for an hour and a half until I finally got this right. My final achievement for this game is Bare Bones Bounty Hunter. Complete the mission with only 3 energy tanks and no reserve tanks. This sounds like a daunting task, but with how much I played this game, most of this challenge is a non-issue. A smart person would have planned which E-tanks to get ahead of time so that they function as strategic health refills, but I didn't bother. I recommend you do the opposite of what I did and make lots of safety saves so that if your brain shuts off and you collect a 4th E-tank or a reserve, you can go back in time and lose it. Going into this, I thought my rough patches would be Phantoon, Ridley, and Mother Brain, but what wound up happening is Batoon killing me like 3 times. I got Phantoon first try. Ridley is kind of a crapshoot when you have this little energy. He moves so erratically, it's hard to think of a strategy for this. And every time you die, that's like a 2-minute trek between the nearest save room and the fight. I ended up making Mother Brain harder than she needed to be, trying so hard to make it through these gates before the SpaghettiOs of Doom depleted an energy tank. Mother Brain's Hyper Beam does 3 energy tanks of damage. So if I go in with less than 3 tanks, or if she does enough damage before the Hyper Beam, I'm gonna die and I may as well reset. What I didn't know until after getting the achievement and reading a comment under it is that I could have destroyed these gates in front of Mother Brain, gone back, refilled my health, and then when I come back in this room, the gates will be gone, even if I save and reset my game after destroying them. Meaning that all that time I spent hammering away at these walls while the SpaghettiOs hammered away at my health was for nothing. Thanks for that, Hinotora. I wish I'd read your comment before getting this achievement. But I powered through the gates, SpaghettiOs, and the Mother Brain fight without a break. The moment I reached the point where Mother Brain is charging up the Hyper Beam without having lost an energy tank, I was in the clear. I survived the damage, began the escape sequence, and got the final achievement, finishing the set. Oh yeah, I forgot something. I haven't mentioned yet that for retro achievements, there's softcore and hardcore mode. Enabling hardcore mode disables save states and rewind, which more or less forces you to treat games as if you're playing on their original console. If you complete entire sets in hardcore mode, your completion notification will say mastered rather than completed, and the badge on your account will reflect that. I know I already said this, but for the love of Chozo, make plenty of safety saves when you go for the minimalist run, and do not grab more than 3 energy tanks or even 1 reserve tank. My brain went on autopilot and I made that mistake twice, and it's ultimately why this set took 3 days for me to master instead of 2. What's this? Another OmniMitch video, and it didn't take over a year since the last one? I know, I can't believe it either. I know this isn't like my other videos. I wanted to make something that had nothing to do with my disability, and retro achievements is something I've been doing on my own time for a while. I've had this idea to make achievement guides like this one for every Zelda game, but for my first video like this, I decided to cut my teeth on a game I knew well. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see me do more of these in the future, thanks. If you didn't like it and are worried that this will become all that I make, worry not. I really do enjoy making videos on games which my enjoyment of or access to is impacted by my disability, but they tend to be few and far between, so ideas come to me very seldomly, and it's part of why my upload schedule is more or less non-existent. I've searched for a while for something I can make relatively quickly and consistently, and this is what I've landed on, but I'm not throwing away videos like my previous ones. They'll just come when I have an idea that works. On that note, while I was making this video, Bethesda dropped a remake of Oblivion that everyone's talking about. Would you believe me if I told you that I've only played Oblivion for what was effectively 10 minutes? I'm one of those people who have only played Skyrim and none of the earlier entries. It's not because I don't want to, far from it actually. It's because the PC releases of every Elder Scrolls game before Skyrim weren't made with controllers in mind. They don't have controller support on Steam. And as somebody whose right hand likes to cosplay as a severely injured dust mite, mouse and keyboard go together about as well as oil and water. And if you've never tried it, forcefully adding controller support to a game that doesn't have it through remapping or a mod is not always the smoothest experience. What I'm trying to say is that no matter what you do, you can always tell when an old PC game wasn't meant to be played on a controller. And it's made the earlier Elder Scrolls entries not very accessible as much as I'm interested in playing them. I've been waiting years for Sky Oblivion to finish development so I can play it, but as of now that is no longer necessary. I think I know what my next video will be. But a video on an Elder Scrolls game, when I've never played it, that's a humongous undertaking. It will likely be the longest video on my channel for a while. That sounds like a lot of fun to make, but it'll take me a hot minute. Give me some time for that. Anyway, thank you for watching and have a great day.